getting away from the air-cooled paradigm is, man, it's going to really radically change things in data center design. And that's really exciting. It changes a lot of things. It opens up a lot of possibilities.
But all right, so you're in the Submer corporate offices there in Barcelona. Barcelona is one of my top favorite 3 cities in Europe. It's one of my top 3. And you're there, but you're not there for the sangrias, and you're not there for casual walks buying tourist tchotchkes on La Rambla.
That's right. That's all just a bonus.
That's all just a bonus. You're there for something else. So let's talk. Why are you there?
So I'm having a great time meeting the Submer engineering team, and their folks here are just a wealth of information, and here to learn, to get educated about the product, the engineering behind it, the technical details, but specifically our part as Compu-Dynamics will be to perform installation and service for Submer in North America. So getting up to speed on all that.
Submer's really excited to partner with you guys, so it's going to be great. But you have, you're there from a technical perspective, but you are an electrical engineer, right? That's your degree, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And if I have this correct, I looked at your history. You worked at Loudon Electric, and you built Loudon Electric up, and then you worked at Equinix, right?
Other way around, actually.
Other way around. Equinix first, and then Loudon Electric, right? That's right. And now Compu-Dynamics. This is what you do for a living, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Right? And so let's talk about that a little bit. I could hear when we talked last week on the phone, I could hear you have an enthusiasm for immersion cooling. You kind of get it, right?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, it has the potential to really change the dynamics of how data centers are built and operated. And that's really the overarching mission in talking to Danny and the team at Submer. It's, they want to change the environmental impact of data centers on the world. And
right.
This is an amazing way to accomplish that.
Right. And here's the thing. One of my favorite things about the Submer story is in a way, it doesn't matter if your sole focus is environmental and green, or if your sole focus is to comply with government regulation, or if your personal sole focus is to cut your energy bill in half. Right. It doesn't matter which of these matters most to you, because immersion cooling, like the Submer solution, kind of does all of those things and delivers an RO. Actually, it's because some people get brainwashed and they think, okay, if it has the word green attached to it, it means it costs more, right? Right?
Yeah.
Because I talked to some data center guys here in the States, and they think, oh man, whenever they hear green, they think all they see is, oh man, I'm going to get cost. It's another cost center. But right. The reality is, this is one of those no-brainers, because you can actually get a positive ROI in every category in which of those 3, right?
Absolutely right. Yeah, it's a triple ROI. I mean, it really is very impactful.
Yeah, and that's pretty exciting. Okay, so you're there. What is it about what you're learning so far? I mean, when I first, I get teased in the office a lot, because when I first was introduced to the product at the Open Compute Project show in San Jose, is when I first got my hands in it, right? Mm-hmm. And literally got my hands in it, right? And I dubbed the immersion cooling fluid magic juice, and everybody still teases me about that. But I like things like that, because it's different. Have you had a chance to work with the fluid yet and hear about some of its specialists?
Yeah, so we helped Submer install a demonstration unit at Digital Realty in Ashburn, Virginia, and then I also was with them at a Data Center Dynamics show in San Francisco a few weeks ago, and that gave me a chance to be hands-on with the unit, doing installation really, and then also talking to customers and prospective clients who wanted to learn more about it. So. Yeah, I got my hands in it, on it, all around it.
Yeah, and what sets it apart? I mean, let's talk about what sets this stuff apart. First of all, it's non-toxic and non-volatile, and that's kind of unique in the space. So first of all, we know immersion cooling is kind of the no-brainer way to go. And then one of our main we have the coolness of the engineering of the box, and there's things we can talk about with that. But the fluid always interests me, that magic juice that I love so much, right? It is, it's not only dielectric and non-conductive and non-corrosive, it's non-toxic, right? It's non-volatile, so there's no fuming problems.
Right.
And it's environmentally safe. If you spill it, it's not like a hazmat situation. You spill
it breaks down the environment very quickly.
Yeah, it's completely biodegradable. And you've been around. It's the first time, and you've been around the data centers more and then more in depth than I have. Have you seen that any place else?
No, absolutely not. In my career, which goes back, 20 years or so in the data center business, fluid in the data center has been a no-no. Nobody wanted to do that. They do all sorts of things to prevent leaks and detect leaks, but that's really on the chilled water side for HVAC systems. But as far as bringing cooling to the liquid cooling, it's just a completely new paradigm. Right. Not completely new paradigm, I shouldn't say that, but it's very uncommon in today's data center world. Everything is engineered and geared around air-cooled systems.
Right. So I think that it's such if you look at it from a physics perspective, when you look at it from an electrical perspective and every way you look at it, if you just look at it straight on, you say, okay, no brainer. But really, what you and I and the rest of us are dealing with is the psychology of it. And you just touched on it right now, right? It's because to normal people walking around, when they hear fluid, they think water.
Yeah, exactly.
And this isn't water. It's a very special fluid designed to be safe and protective around electrical components. It's a change in mindset. How do we affect that change? Is it just repetition? How do we take and change the minds of the people running these data centers to get them to embrace this? Because it will all benefit from it.
Well, what I've found so far, particularly in the time I spent with the demo units and talking to prospective clients about it, the first hurdle is to make sure they understand it and really believe that it's dielectric. Okay, so first things first, you're not going to get shocked if you stick your server in there. The server's not going to short out. So once you're over that hurdle, then the non-toxicity is sort of the second hurdle. That's not going to hurt you. And then what I found was after you cross those two hurdles, that people then begin to open their mind to the possibilities and the savings involved in not having to move air around to cool their equipment. And it starts to click in their mind that this is really revolutionary. It takes a little while to digest. We found people at the trade show in San Francisco would come and talk to us for a few minutes, and then they'd wander away, and then come back and talk some more, and they'd have better questions the second time, maybe even the third time they come back, and then they're like evangelizing about the product. It was really interesting.
So do you think we'll have, so that's the good too, but we have one more layer, right? We have to get the end customers, the businesses and the research labs and the hosting providers and the server manufacturers. We've got to get them on board too. And so we've got to tell this. We got to tell the story several times. We got to tell it well. Fortunately, we have the truth on our side. What do you think? And this is just consult me a little bit. I have to help with messaging and communications of this crazy stuff, right? How do we reach out to those people? Is how do we get to them? Because we have to convince them too.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think just you guys do a great job on social media marketing. Say that. I follow you on LinkedIn, and it's just every day there's something interesting to look at. The Goon Hilly project that just went on last week, I think.
Yeah.
It's getting people to be aware of the product and aware of the solution, and then having an opportunity to have a conversation with them about the possibilities and unlocks. Yeah, there's a big world out there to educate. You got a job on your hands here. Well, it's very compelling, and I think once people start to hear about it, they look into it, they're going to pull the information from you more than you have to push it to.
Yeah. I'll let you know a little. It's not really a secret, but I'll let you know a little thing. We've got another cool installation. You may be aware of it coming up at Clemson University in the Carolinas, and
Yes.
that's going to be fun too. They're sending me out to that one so I can get some
Oh, great.
interviews. Yeah, yeah. You just
Meet in person because we're going to do the installation there.
Beautiful. I look forward to that. So I'm coordinating my travel arrangements now, but it's going to be great. It's a nationally sponsored research project at a major university, and I think it's just going to be really cool. I got some ideas on how to make it kind of fun too. I think I'll keep that to myself until I see you, right? But we're gonna find a way to make it fun. So, all right. Now that's all great, and I appreciate it, and we love having you at the offices there in Barcelona. But why don't you tell me? I mean, when we talked on the phone, you were talking. There's some unique things about Compu-Dynamics. There's things that you guys do a little bit differently that sets you apart in the space as well. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah. So we are a little bit unique in that we are both an electrical and mechanical contractor in the same company, and that gives us a lot of flexibility with cross-training our people. Having really top-notch technicians who understand both sides of that equation. And between mechanical and electrical systems, you're talking about 80% of what's in a data center. So it really gives us a great perspective in the field with our technicians to be able to handle our customers' problems very efficiently. And
yeah, and mechanical, electrical, that is it's like a hospital, right? I had a friend of mine who was an architect one time, and he did hospitals, and he says, architecting a hospital is the easiest thing in the world. He says, why? He says, because you do a design and you hand it to the mechanical, electrical guys and let them work for 2 years. Because there's so much plumbing and wiring and all that stuff. And data centers are exactly the same way.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And like I said, getting away from the air-cooled paradigm is and it's going to really radically change things in data center design. Mm-hmm. If you get into specific data centers or even data halls within a larger data center that are dedicated to liquid cooled systems, it's really exciting to think what's going to happen. Not having to push air around and worry about channeling air across these, what today are very, very large data halls, get to the spot that it's needed. All that goes away. It's like you said, it's plumbing. You're bringing the secondary cooling loops directly to the heat source. And that's really exciting. It changes a lot of things. It opens up a lot of possibilities.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw one more thing at you because, as I'm sure I'm following, all the news in the space and, gathering statistics and things of that nature. It's almost second nature to me, actually. But a couple of things jump out, and that's really kind of in my mind, and I'm hoping this type of messaging really hammers home to our end users. People, if you're in the data center business, you're not in the data center business. If you're in the data center business, you're in two businesses: real estate and power.
That's true.
Everything else, everything else is around that, is a basket of that. And what people, what is an unusual statistic people don't understand. Let me throw a couple of ways of phrasing this. Data centers in the world currently consume 7% of all the electricity we generate ever.
That's incredible.
Think about that. The amount of energy used in Bitcoin mining right now currently exceeds the power consumption of Switzerland.
That's just unbelievable.
Right? So all I'm saying is exactly this. We're in the power business. Yeah. And if we can take and change the world to the point, right? Well, and that's one big reality. Just drop those statistics right there, right? And then look over and say, okay, well, the next thing is real estate. Right, so we have big, huge. I'm in Nebraska, and I know you know this. I've got right there by the river, and Iowa's right across there. Within 15 miles, I've got Travelers has their data center here. Facebook has their data center. PayPal has their data center here. Google has a big data center here. Microsoft has 3 data centers, or 1 data center finished, 2 under construction. About 100 miles that way. So but we're all right here in the middle. but the speed of light is the next big limiter we've got, right? And so we have all those big central data centers, and we're still going to need those. But now we're pushing out to the edge, which is the next big problem, which is real estate, right? And we need small, almost portable, I think of them as portable, but almost like small, self-contained data centers right there next to the people who need that power and need that compute power, and we need it there, right? And so we've got to solve these two problems. And that is, again, the perfect application for an immersion cooling solution, because not only are you solving the real estate problem, we're getting, you've seen this. I mean, you live this, right? We're taking compute densities of, and shrinking it down and into these this one little pod can hold several racks worth of, normal air cooled, several racks worth of servers. Processors, I won't say servers, like processors, can fit into one rack footprint. And we can keep it cool at 50% the 50% of the energy costs. So it addresses both of those major problems.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the shrinking the footprint down. I mean, the idea that you can put as much as 100 kilowatts of compute load in what's basically 48 or 44 or 45U rack on laid down its side, it's just incredible. I mean, that density of compute opens up tremendous possibilities in the real estate you can use to put nodes, very high compute nodes, out at the edge of any network.
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
Yeah,
the power too. You still are going to use a lot of power, but you can slice off huge chunks of what's required by not having to push air around. Big air handling units, crack units, cry units, or even the fans on the servers themselves and in the server power supplies. You eliminate all of that because all of that's unnecessary with a liquid cooled solution. I mean, you're talking about making a major impact in power consumption of the data center industry as a whole.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. All right, you know what? You've given me some great time here. I've enjoyed chatting with you. Is there anything else that we need to talk about before I let you get back to your book work?
Get back to sweating in the factory. We're just would close by saying we're very excited. Compu-Dynamics is very excited to partner with Submer to help bring this product to North America. It's going to be, I think, an exciting next couple of years for sure.
Excellent. I'm right there with you. I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in person in Clemson. And it's going to be a great time. And the first round of whiskeys is on me.
Sounds great, Jeff. Thanks.
All right. Thanks for your time, Lee. Talk to you soon. Okay.
Take care.
Bye for now.